Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel with my husband.
Hi, everybody.
For the topic today about
Oh, you met the ambassador
yes,
of the United States to the
Yeah.
Philippines.
yes,
Someone with a very high position.
yes, and it is a lot bodyguard.
So you had like a dream or something, right?
Yes,
Or not a dream, but you prayed?
I
What
pray.
was it?
Yeah, 3 months ago I praying to the Paul. I said to Daddy Paul, I pray to the Lord. Hopefully the ambassador come to the Philippines for meet you in the person.
It's interesting.
Yes, and then you tell me, hey baby, ambassador come to the Philippines. I said, really? I'm so excited. I said, oh Lord, thank you so much. You answered my prayer. Yeah.
Well, I guess it worked because that's exactly what happened. And I just find it fascinating that you would pray something like that. But, it is what it is. And so, one thing about May is she starts off every day with a devotional. She goes into a room and she prays. That's how she starts
Yeah.
her day. Every day, she just talks to God. I don't know what she's talking about. Apparently, I didn't know 3 months ago she was talking about meeting the ambassador. But we've been talking about politics here in the house and, the hierarchy and all that, and who's in charge and who's not, and
Yeah.
who's got, who can talk to the president and who doesn't. And that came up that ambassadors
Yeah.
are people that go to countries and they report back and they have the ability occasionally to talk directly to the president, and you're very fascinated by all of that. So
Yes.
I guess that made sense. So the whole thing was I got an email
Yes.
from my friend Chris
Yeah.
over at the embassy. Actually, not he's my friend.
Yeah.
And he's also the head
He's
of
very
the
nice guy.
super nice
I see in
man.
the you meeting in the why not?
Yeah. Yep.
He's very nice guys.
Yep. Yeah, we've met a number of times. We met first a couple of years ago,
Yes.
and then every time we've met at the satellite deals that they've done out here,
Yes.
where they've come in to do Maggette to help people sign up to get their kids citizenship or to fix a social security problem, or
Very kind guy.
very kind and very, very smart.
Yeah.
So she'd met Chris, and then she was asking kind of like, who's his boss and who does he answer to? So we were talking about government and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you had your little prayer session with God, and then your prayer got answered. And so
Yeah.
I got an email from Chris saying, hey, the ambassador's coming out. I can't make it out there, but you guys, myself and the other guys that are liaisons with the embassy, she wants to take you guys out to lunch.
What are you, Daddy Paul?
Oh, I was excited. It was really cool. I was like, wow, I never envisioned this in my life. Like I always think, what if I just stayed in America? What if I'd never moved to the Philippines? All these things that I would have missed, all these life experiences that would have just passed me by. And I never in a million years would I have envisioned my life being what it is today compared to what it was just 8 years ago,
Yeah.
In 2 weeks is my 8-year anniversary, by the way. Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll do a
Happy
little
anniversary.
8-year reflection video one of these days. Anyway, I got off track. So anyway, I got this thing that says I could invite an American to come with me. And so I picked my best buddy, Bud Brown,
Yes.
and fired him off the email, and he got all jacked up for it and was excited also, just as me. And May wanted to go, and I told her the truth. I said, look, they said Americans, so I'm not sure you as a Filipina are going to be able to go or even get past the security or anything else. And boy, was I wrong. Because when we got there, they had police, they had an ambulance, they had a military thing, they had a van, a number of cars, as they usually do. You can imagine, the procession when somebody like that, for safety reasons, they have to guard them. And especially with all the crazy things going on at embassies around the world right now. So when we got there, I showed up with May. And the funny thing is that I'm always trying to get May out of the house. Hurry up and get ready. For crying out loud, we're running late. There's Filipina time. And it's like we need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And, you know, at 5 minutes to 10, you're still dicking around to make up. And this one was really funny
Yeah.
because when I told her I was going to take her, I said lunch is going to be served at around 11:15, and we need to meet Bud at 9:30.
Yeah.
What time were you ready?
7.
7 a.m. She's sitting on the couch in her
I'm ready.
nice little skirt and blouse and sweater, and looking all prim and proper. You know, just waiting. Like, when are we leaving? I go, we're not leaving for 2 more hours. You just sat here, okay? Because talk about hyped up, man. Oh man. And so anyway, we got May in to the restaurant. It was Cafe Maria, which is an impossible
Yeah.
place to find. And it's really buried, but it's really a cool restaurant.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Very private.
Very private.
It's good
very
for
nice.
the meeting.
Good for the meeting.
Yes.
Yep. I can see why they picked it. And so May was able to get through, no problem. And you sat outside.
Yeah, I talked
Well,
with the police lady.
Yeah, you were talking with the lady police.
Yeah.
And they were really sweet to you.
Yeah, she's entertained with me because I'm alone in the outside.
Right.
Yeah, she's talking with me, and then I think 5 minutes you come out with the ambassador.
Yeah, what did you think? What went through your mind when I come rolling out with her?
I thought, really? You come? She come to the outside. I say, oh, thank you so much. I'm taking picture.
Yeah, it was time to take a picture, right?
Yeah.
So of course May, as any true Filipina did, was automatically ready to take a selfie at any point in time because that's what they live for. And so she was, she got a selfie with the ambassador.
Yes.
And I had gone in. I spent, like she's right, I spent about 5-10 minutes inside. And once I met her, I said, you know, I have my wife outside, and she would love to have a photograph with you. And she's so nice. And
Yeah,
she said,
very
"Oh,
nice lady.
absolutely,
Yeah.
Paul." And so out we
Very
went.
kind.
May got the picture that you
Yeah.
just saw. We flashed up on the screen. And so her and I went back inside, and we all sat down, and we started to get lunch served. And there's banter going across the table. There's about 15 to 16 people there.
Yeah.
Her husband was there. And there was a seat empty right next to Bud.
Yeah.
So there was the ambassador, there was Bud, and I was across from Bud. And then there were the other gentlemen and, with their guests there. And the ambassador looked at me and she goes, "Paul, is your wife still outside?" And I said, "Yep." And she goes, "Well, for crying out loud, bring her inside. She doesn't have to sit out there." I said, "Really?" And she goes, "Yeah, there's a chair. Bring her out.
Wow.
Bring her in." So what happened when I came out and went like this? Like, this is how you call someone in the Philippines, by the way. You don't say like this. You got to go like that. And you jumped up and you left your purse on the, on the floor.
Because I'm so excited.
So I had to say, go back and get your purse.
Yeah.
And I said, "You're invited to lunch."
Yeah.
What did you think?
I'm so happy. And then I come to the sit in the chair.
Uh-huh.
I feel like shaking my body.
Yeah. And then amazing to me is they just had a plate of food ready. So they just plopped a big chicken in front of May. And she was scared to eat it. He said you couldn't swallow. And she was afraid. You know how Filipinos eat. Okay, they just eat with their hands, you know. And it's not that she doesn't know how to use a knife and fork, but she was terrified that if she did something wrong,
Yeah.
you know, like a chicken leg went flying across the room
Yes.
or something.
And then if I'm
And you
eating,
said you couldn't swallow water.
yeah, I cannot swallow the chicken because I'm very nervous.
And your hands were shaking.
Yeah, and then I cut the chicken. My hand is like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
because
gets almost like a palsy whenever she gets upset. You've had that since I've known you. You
yeah,
know, when you're upset, it's very easy for me to figure it out because your hands are shaking. And so she was shaking, but at the same time, you couldn't beat the grin off of her face. You know,
Yeah.
you were so happy
yeah,
and so excited. I was actually enjoying the fact that she was there more than the fact that I was there.
yeah,
It was just, you know, one of those experiences that I knew was a once in a lifetime experience for me, I'm sure. I can't envision this happening ever. But just where the chips fell. And it was, you know, it's really cool to just meet someone like her, and she is so intelligent
Yeah.
and so nice, and her staff is so nice,
Yes.
and they're just so accommodating, and they're diplomats, so that's their profession,
And then the
is to be
husband is
nice to
there.
people.
The
And her
husband.
husband was there.
Yeah,
He
very
was a
nice.
super nice man.
Yeah.
They've been married 36 years, got a
Wow.
couple of kids,
Wow.
and she's retiring. And she also said that the best tenure, they do 3 years. She's been in India. She's been
Oh.
in China. She was in another country, I can't remember. And then she did 2 tours in China. And then she ended here in the Philippines. And she said that the Philippines was the cherry on top because she's going to retire. Her favorite country that she's ever served in is the Philippines.
Wow.
And she said it was because of the people and because of the language. And she said she just loved it here.
Wow.
And so she's going out with a big grin on her face too when she heads into retirement. So we're very happy about that. And so we wrapped up the lunch.
Yeah.
And then it was time to go.
Yes.
And we all kind of sat around and talked.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to, at the end of this video, we'll go ahead and say goodbye now. We kind of heard our story about May and her getting to come in and have her prayer answered.
Yeah.
And she had the presence of mind to actually videotape the procession leaving.
Yeah.
And Brad Thompson, our friend, he
Yes,
was there. He
he's
was
there.
an invited guest.
Yeah.
He came up and talked to you, but he didn't know you were video. And they kept her cool. She just kept the camera rolling, and she talked to Brad. I was talking to her, and she had the presence of mind. So we're going to show you that right now. Coming up, that'll be the ending scene.
Yes.
Is the people leaving. And
Yes.
so we'll say goodbye now, and thanks for watching, huh?
Yes.
Anything else
With
you want
the
to
Nicole.
add?
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
Why is a Filipino is if I eating have a sound, but the Puner if the eating no sound? Because I eat in the restaurant, I need to be careful. I eat that
Well, I
because
can
the
answer
Filipino
that.
eating.
Yeah,
Huh?
they make a lot of noise
Yeah,
when they
you
eat.
can explain the default.
Because the Philippines is just a flat out noisy place. No
Mm.
matter what the Filipinos do, it's loud. When you eat, you smack your lips. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? And that's fine. It's the culture. It's a culture thing.
Yes.
When you talk on a phone in public, you scream into it.
Mm.
When you sit down at a table, the laughter is really loud.
Yes.
I've always said there's not a quiet place in the Philippines. You know, it's either, if it's not a Filipino or a Filipina, it's a dog or it's a motorcycle or it's a chainsaw or a karaoke machine.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of nowhere and there's going to be some sort of noise. But it's just noisy. And in America, we are much more reserved. And it's called, well, especially in my era, having good table manners. All right? So you're always... when you're in public, you try, and I'm talking to you,
Yes.
then we talk like this.
Oh.
Because we don't want anybody around us to hear us or interfere with them. They might be reading a book.
Yes.
They might be having their own conversation. Or here in the Philippines, where everybody just they don't care who hears what. They're going to go ahead and let everybody listen. But in America, when we eat, we try to, be... our mouth.
Yeah,
They always told us. My mother used to always say, "Shut your mouth while you're eating. Chew with your mouth closed. Chew with your mouth closed." And so they don't have that out here. And so I guess it's just a little more
I tried, but
organic.
it's so hard to me, the default.
She can't do it.
Yeah. So hard.
I don't even have to look when my wife's eating because all I hear is, "Man, okay, May's having a snack over by the computer." I don't even have to look. I already know what's going on.
I eating like a dog.
Speaking of the dogs, they're over there with you, waiting for their treat. All right, should we call it a video?
Yes.
All right,
Thank
so
you
coming up,
much.
we're going to show the little clip that May managed to take and of the procession leaving.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good way to end the video.
Yes.
All right, kids. See you in the
Yeah.
next video.
Thank you so much, guys, and thank you so much, the default, for always wait together my video.
No
and
problem.
See you next video. Bye bye.
Like, share, and subscribe to Today with Baby May.
Run. Mas kalat bodyguard.